event today. We are all here, most of us are very passionate about IT, and that is why we are all here today, to learn and to also see how we can use that domain in solving problems we confront in our society. As you all know, the world is developing and technology is taking a toll on us all, so it's important that as we evolve, we come up with solutions around this area to solve problems we confront in our society. And to realize this particular goal, we have a lot of partners who have been working with. We have the Youth Empowerment Project, we have the EU, the Gambia government is also in support. We have the Ministry of Health here, who is ably represented by the Director of Planning, and later on he'll be giving a speech. Not only that, we also have international partners all the way from Germany. They're also here and they will be talking to us later on in the program. Nonetheless, I welcome you all once again to this event today. So I would like to take much of your time. Thank you so much. I would like to take much of your time. We have a lot of speeches. You all know when it's about opening ceremonies, we have speeches. But today, like I said, it's going to be a two-day event. So today we get to do the opening ceremony, and we begin to see work from the various participants who will be taking part in this particular program. And then tomorrow again, the same thing continues, and eventually we'll realize or get to know who the winners of the program will be. And like Fabi told me earlier on, it is not a competition. We're just trying to inculcate the idea of being creative, being critical in bringing up solutions. And in that, I think this is one of the perfect ways we can do that. So at this point, I have the singular honor on invite actually the founder of the HackWeekend, who is no other than Mr. Olawale Fabi, to give the opening or the introductory remarks.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. My name is Olawale Fabi. It's good to have you all here. It's a pleasure, it's a privilege to be standing here today. HackWeekend, before I go further into what HackWeekend is, why we started HackWeekend, I'd like to show up our team, because without the team, it would not have been possible to have this event. So you can see our team up here, they're in the crowd. So I'd like to say thank you to them. They've been doing so much work for the past 4 months and beyond. We'd also like to thank our partners from all around the globe, Python, Point Click, the Ministry of Health, JetBrains, ITAC, CAMSIS, Binibit, Terabytes, and our partners from Germany, Asabini and GmbH. So this was what happened last year. Last year we focused on the fisheries subsector, and we had 2-day events. We had 7 sponsors and partners. We had 82 software development trainees, 3 trainers, 20 hackathon participants. There were 5 teams and solutions, 319 cups of coffee, and 2 were consumed. We actually counted. So we had 4 judges, we have 3 ushers and 5 organizers. All right, so what is HackWeekend? I'm sure some of you might be thinking, maybe there's a mistake there also. HackWeekend is actually a youth-led social impact, tech for good and not for profit organization. We started HackWeekend to solve issues affecting sectors in the Gambia. But our plan is not just about Gambia, but about what? Africa at the end, right? So HackWeekend, as an instrument of societal change, would use technology-based events and technology to solve issues affecting our society. So Africa needs African solutions to the many problems affecting Africa, because only we Africans know Africa better, right? And it's also noteworthy that Africans shine brighter like diamonds mined in Africa when Africans emigrate to outside Africa. We know that people get to Europe and they do extremely well, right? So our mission is the collective social responsibility of bringing technologies, the government, partners, all together to solve issues and problems affecting us. Our mission is to see that lives are changed, communities are made better with the solutions that will come. Our focus is in driving real-world solutions to real-world problems. Like I mentioned, last year's event focused on fisheries. And building on that note, we're here again for the 2nd edition. Right? This 2nd edition focuses on health, and we are looking at creative ways to solve issues affecting the healthcare sectors. We work with partners, we work with industry and healthcare practitioners to come up with these problems. Because we are technologists, we don't know what happens in sectors. So every year will be a unique event where we focus on a new sector. Next year could be education, it could be finance, it could be anything. But this will come from the populace because we run a social media pool and people tell us what they really want us to focus on. So we are hoping we'll be able to solve problems with this. All right, so as regards the name HackWeekend, Hack is actually creative problem solving. Before now, even me, before I became a technologist years ago, I used to think hack is hacking into someone's computer. I'm sure we all know that, right? But hack is actually creative problem solving, and it doesn't necessarily have to deal with technology. And then when we talk about weekends, there's actually a controversy on this, so maybe we need to copyright the name, right? Weekends are actually socio-economic problems affecting the society. Our Africa that we know today, there are too many issues, too many problems affecting us. So what do we need to do? We as Africans need to take our destinies into our hands. We need to solve problems. We don't have to wait for outsiders to come in to profess solutions and solve them for us. So weekends are actually the socio-economic problems and issues affecting us. And like I said, we actually coined this word. You could pull up your browser and check Google for weekends. This name, the context in which it exists, we actually coined the word. All right, so I'd like to, on a final note, I'd like to thank our media people. I'd like to thank all our partners. I'd like to thank representatives. I'd like to thank our people on the iTable. And then also like to thank the Asabina team. They flew all the way from Germany. They landed last night. It's great having you guys in Gambia. On that note, I'd like to say welcome again. Thank you very much.
Mr. Fabi, I think it was important that he clarified the meaning of weekend. Because when I saw this, the first time I saw it on the flyers, I was like, what is really happening? But I thought Fabi is so smart to be making mistakes on the flyer. So I held on to my reservation until when I later saw it on his Twitter feed that this was what weekend meant. And I thought that was a great job that you and your team did, and you deserve a round of applause for that. Yes, it's really smart and a very brilliant idea. So thank you so much for that introductory remark. Now at this point, like I said in the beginning, we have our partners all the way from Germany, and they are Asabina GmbH, and now I have the singular honor to call on the CEO of that particular tech company all the way in Germany, and he's no other than Mr. David Asabina. A round of applause for Mr. David.
For coming. Thanks for having me. I heard this morning, about less than an hour ago, that I'm going to have to do this little 5-minute rant. So I'm not really good at this stuff, but all I really wanted to say is that I'm really looking forward to what you guys are going to build, you guys and ladies. I've been to many hackathons all over the place. This is my first one in the Gambia. In fact, this is only my second time on the African continent. I landed here for New Year's Eve for a short 2-3 week holiday. Past New Year's Eve, actually. That was just a few months ago. And then I met Olawale. He explained what he was doing. I went to a couple of tech companies. I saw what was happening here. I was like, oh, this is really exciting. I kind of want to be part of that if possible. So yeah, here we are. I think that the health sector is definitely a sector that Africa could use a lot of innovation in. And there's so much talent around the continent that I'm pretty certain that you have everything it takes to make the next solution that could bring you guys forward. And if there's anything necessary in forms of resources, in terms of knowledge, the world is such a small place nowadays. Thanks to the internet, you can always connect to people. So leverage that power. We'll be around to brainstorm with people, to talk about ideas. Even after the event, you can always reach out to us about ideas. And we're looking forward to what we're going to produce here. All the best to all the teams, to the people who are going to be taking part in the boot camp. I'll be teaching most of it. So if you're up for learning Python programming, which I would definitely recommend, I welcome you to that one. And yeah, happy hacking. All right.
Thank you also to your team for coming all the way to the Gambia to be a part of this event. And now, So this, I'm about to introduce to you someone that I've really seen around, especially when it comes to IT events, especially when it comes to technology. I know he's really passionate about this particular field, and so I am not surprised that he's also on our list today. And he's no other than the president of the IT Association of the Gambia, ITAG, Mr. Sidi Bensouda. I call you now to give a short statement.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all excited. I wasn't planning on giving a speech. I was called this morning and told I had to give 5 minutes. I don't have 5 minutes, but I think I'm excited to be here with you guys. It's really wonderful to see a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of energy around ICT, specifically around developing software and developing content. I think, to be honest, this is what it's all about, right? It's all about young guys and girls coming together to make a difference and to build something. I think the best advice I can give you is that the next few days, give it all you have. A lot of things can come out of this. I mean, some of you will be able to create something that they can continue with and build upon. Others will learn a lot from this, but the bottom line is give it everything that you got. My one also additional encouragement is exchange ideas, share ideas. We sometimes tend to believe that when we keep ideas to ourselves, nobody else will know and we'll somehow be able to do work with it, but that's not really how it works. The more you engage, the more you discuss your ideas, the more you're able to refine your idea. I mean, it's not about the idea. It is about how you develop and execute the idea that matters at the end of the day. Right? So, and I always like to tell myself that when I have an idea, I'm almost certain that there's at least 100 people around the world that have that same idea at that same moment in time. From that point on, what matters is how much time and energy and dedication you give the idea to be able to really help it bloom into something great. And you will find that along the way, when you engage, when you talk about it, when you work on it, things begin to fall in place. People start joining you to support you on that idea. Others will come, look at your idea, and we want to be part of that idea. Some may even try to copy the idea, but it's okay. Right? What matters at the end of the day is being able to see it through, and the staying power to actually see it through that matters. Right? I mean, you'll have some people that go down and say, oh, somebody else has this idea, and they give up. Right? And all ideas on their surface tend to look the same. Just like most applications on the surface look the same. Right? What matters is the mechanics, how efficient it is, how secure it is, how user-friendly it is. Right? These are the things that matter. And it all comes down to how much passion, how much commitment you put into the idea, and how able you are to form partnerships. Right? Don't try to go in alone. Try to find people that are like-minded to you, that you can collaborate with and work together. Right? I mean, the best applications are applications where a lot of people get to share ideas. And nobody is the custodian of all ideas. Right? It's by working together and sharing perspectives, right, that we make something even better than what it is. Right? So my encouragement to you guys today is share, engage, right? Get out of your comfort zone. As engineers, we are not the best at that. I know I'm not. Right? I don't know how come I'm able to stand in front of you here and talk, but I'm doing it somehow. Right? But the bottom line is that as engineers, we're not good at that. Right? We prefer to be in our own little corner, doing our own little thing. But, I mean, in the long term, it doesn't really work to our advantage. Come out of your shell. Talk to people, engage people, discuss your ideas, right? And make it better, and always try to leave here with an even better idea, right? So with that, I wish you all the best of luck, and I'm excited to see what comes out of tomorrow. Thank you.
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Senior colleagues here present. First and foremost, I want to recognize the presence of my senior colleagues. We are Dr. Jack, a surgeon, and as well as Dr. Marina as well, who is also a surgeon, and both work as well at the Edward Francis small teaching hospital. When I was told yesterday evening that the permanent secretary is to give a statement, and the theme is good health, the wealth of a nation. And then I was saying, wow. And then when I went through the background about what HackWeekend is all about, I said, oh, probably I'm the right individual to be here to tell you some of the things we as a ministry have gone through and some of the new innovations we are coming out with, so that at least you people can take it up from there. On your background, you mentioned that the Gambia government allocates around 1.035 billion. And this, when you divide it, the estimated population of the Gambia, which is estimatedly a little bit above 2 million. And these 2 million, each individual, if you divide this by 2 million, you realize that the Gambia government is spending $517 of a little above $500 per individual to be able to take care of your healthcare service. $500 per individual. And according to the Macroeconomics Commission on Health, they've said that for a country to have a fantastic health system, a good health system, that country needs to invest a minimum of $80 per capita. And that $80, you multiply it by the rate 49 or so, you have about $4,000 per capita. So let's look at the difference. The government is investing 500 per capita. And for us to move forward as a health system, we need 4,000 per capita, meaning every individual, government should spend 4,000. So when you multiply that 4,000 by approximately $2 million people, it's about $8 billion. That's what we need to run the health system. But we are giving how? 1.035, which is only 12% out of 100%. So how effective are we going to be in delivering health service delivery if you are giving, for example, 12%, meaning you are taken to a front line to fight a battle, and then you are only giving probably 12 bullets out of 100, and you have to shoot 100 people. That will be able to kill all. However, globally now, when you look at the Gambia health system, our administration is divided into two. We have the central level and we have the regional level. The central level deals with purely policy and strategic direction for the health system. And at the regional level, that's where service delivery is performed. And according to the Local Government Act, Gambia is to decentralize, which means now decisions should be taken at the regional level. And then there should be financial flow from the central level to the regional level. However, that decentralization act is yet to be fully implemented. But in terms of structure, the Gambia health system is fully decentralized. We are also divided into 7 regions. Western 1, which cover from Banjul to Kombo North, Western 2, Kombo South to Kalaji. Then you have North Bank East and West. North Bank East is Farafenni, North Bank West is SO. You have CRR, LRR, and URR. And you hardly also capture the structure of our health system. And then the Gambia is operating on a three-tier system. And as well, our data flow also follows this three-tier system. The first point of call, according to our structure, is the primary healthcare level. However, we still face challenges in terms of meeting the human resource at that particular level, at the primary healthcare level. And our second point of call is the secondary healthcare level, which are the minor and the major health centers. These are the health facilities you have in Serekunda, around the Sandika, Sukuta, Burfu, Banjulinding. Those are the secondary healthcare we have. And then Fajikunda is a major health center as well. And in each of these facilities, in terms of performance, they have their own, according to our policy, what they should be able to perform. But however, we still have challenges, as I said earlier. One, the human resource is a key challenge, and also the financial resource as well. So at the tertiary level, which is at the specialist level, the referral health system, the government of the Gambia has 7 referral, including the only specialist eye care, eye care hospital, which is the Sezai. So we have Bansang, which is in CRR. We have Buyam, which is in West Coast. We have also Farafenye, North Bank East. We have Kanifing Hospital. We have the Bundung Hospital, and then last but not least, the main referral hospital, which is also the teaching hospital, is the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital. And these are the final referral point of the health system. In terms of monitoring the quality of healthcare service delivery, it's a challenge. However, we are able to overcome this challenge in 5 regions. And these are the regions in the Upper River, Lower River, CRR, and the 2 North Banks region. We have developed a quality of care checklist that is very comprehensive, and it includes all the 3 levels that I have mentioned. And those quality of care checklist was developed courtesy of the Maternal and Child Health Resource Project, which is funded by the World Bank. We are now at the transitional phase to move the project from a project level to a program level, so that we'll be able to implement this monitoring of quality of care across the country, which will include as well the specialist hospital, the 2 specialist hospitals, Edward Francis Small and St. Zayed Hospital. And this quality of care checklist is very comprehensive, and it's about a 20-page document. And this is administered by different experts in terms of healthcare service delivery. It even has financial component where you even assess the financial administration of a particular health facility. It also includes the data analysis, the collection process, and it also includes the service delivery itself. And it also assesses the individual performing the service, whether you are putting on the right uniform. In healthcare, we have different categories of healthcare service delivery. And each of these categories, we have allocated uniforms for them. An SRN midwife put on a different uniform, different belt, the SRN general, CHA midwife, and so on. So I want to take my time to explain this so that we are all at the same level. In terms of data, the biggest challenge we have now as a health system is the medical record system. We all know that it is very important, and it is you people sitting here who can give us the solution for the Gambia to have a medical record system. We've started the engagement with institutions that have already are already implementing the medical record system. For example, the Medical Research Council, the MRC, and we've started my IT unit. Have started engagement with the team from the MRC to see how best we can come up with a customized, unique system for the Ministry of Health of the Gambia, so that we'll be able to track patients, in and out, those that are visiting our facilities, and we'll be able to have a record of these patients. So we started that engagement, and my directorate is mandated to provide IT solutions to the ministry, and is the directorate also mandated to also put up solution in relation to data collection, data quality, and any issues related to ICT, information communication technology. And I would have loved to come with few of my IT specialists and developers as well, but we have a BedNet distribution campaign that is going on currently, countrywide. So moving away a little bit from the team, now globally, the talk is all about universal health coverage. Meaning, how do we make sure that individuals get access to health care without any financial hardship? That's what is now on the global level. People accessing health care should not be impoverished. They should not be poor. Once you spend 70% of your income on healthcare service, then we will say that this person is being impoverished. And not only that, but when you spend up to 40% of your income on health, meaning you are being impoverished. Because when you spend 40% out of 100, you are left with 60. What are you left with to feed yourself and to send your kids to school? So this is why now the global focus and the focus of the Ministry of Health is the drive towards universal health coverage. This is what I said. I will take my time to 5 minutes to discuss with you what are some of these fundamental issues around universal health coverage and also the patient safety. Universal health coverage, usually called UHC, is the much talked about agenda in global health, and it is one of the SDG targets as well, and it is target 3.8, and I think the founder mentioned something like that. And the target 3.8 is, to be more specific, is achieve universal health coverage, including financial risk protection, and access to quality essential healthcare services, and access to safe, effective, and quality and affordable essential medicine. So now we are graduating from good health. So when you look at the definition of health, say a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being without the absence of disease or infirmity. But if you are, it is very difficult to achieve this particular definition. But when you are financially healed and you do not have means of providing your family food, you are at a state of what? Distress. And which means that you are not, healthy. Well, you'll be thinking, how do you get food? So this definition is under a lot of debate, controversies. Health experts, will continue debating about this definition over and over, whether it is ideal, to be used as a definition for health. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, access to healthcare should be a fundamental human right, and the drive towards universal health coverage should be taken seriously by all governments. According to the World Health Organization, universal health coverage is a situation in which communities can obtain the healthcare services they need, and these services include promotional, preventative, curative, rehabilitative, and palliative services. And promotional is, for example, my senior colleague here used to give a talk on the TV about how we can prevent and then take care of some of these disease conditions. And I think this is one of the issues. So we should access this without getting financial hardship. So I think the promotive aspect is being dealt with seriously as a ministry. So we have an entire directorate of health promotion, which have secured a lot of spots countrywide for free radio talks to sensitize people, and they also go around the country to educate people in terms of healthcare service delivery. So to achieve this goal, governments all over the world should ensure a suitable and predictable flow of funds to the health sector as a fundamental and a very important objective to be met. And giving it importance, raising of revenue helps the healthcare service delivery to perform and avoid unnecessary interruptions of services, and also ensure timely payment of providers. So here we mean that the country should move towards universal health coverage. How? There has to be a social health insurance. We cannot achieve universal health coverage without having a health insurance. When you are sick, or when your child is sick, what you should think about is, where can I get the best treatment? Not money. And when you think about money, you compromise the quality of service. When you think about money, you compromise the quality of service. So our objective as a ministry is to make sure that when people are sick, they don't think about money. But unfortunately, that's the case. As a civil servant, when I get home and my child is sick, I have to think about money first. And that should not be the case. Money should be the last option. And that's what USC is saying. On that note, I don't want to bore you more with a long statement. I'm very passionate about IT, information, and also issues around promoting healthcare and new innovation that will help us move the agenda of USC. So on behalf of the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmed El Samate, and the two permanent secretaries 1 and 2, and the Director of Health Services, Dr. Samba Sise, and on my humble self, I want to take this opportunity to officially declare these 2 days HackWeekend activity officially open. Thank you very much.
Much, Mr. Jibril Janju, who happens to be the Director of Planning at the Ministry of Health. Thank you so much for also that brief or comprehensive background on what the ministry is doing and your current efforts to just making sure that we have quality healthcare services in the country. I think that's the purpose of this event, to actually complement your efforts as the highest body overseeing health in the country. So we thank you so much and we are appreciative of your partnership in this program. Now that finally brings us to the end of the opening ceremony, and I think we are all ready now to start the program, and we are all excited already, are we? Yes. Are you all ready? Yes. Well, let's get hacking. Thank you. We're working on a hospital management system.
Okay, that's nice. For specifically for which institution, or is it just general?
Yeah, for all the hospitals in the Gambia.
Management, like this, to manage what specifically?
To manage their day-to-day operations from the morning to the afternoon, and especially the patients in the and all that.
So it includes electronic places, like records?
Yes, we have a portion for patients' records to be entered, and as the patient comes to the hospital for a visit, there will be no use paper. They'll just have all the information recorded in the system, and this also will be linked to doctors to see the patient's old records, and when the patient also is referred to another hospital for treatment, they will easily get those records in just an instant.
Yeah, that's cool. There's already a few of them around here, so what's different? Why are you working on this one? What is different from the current ones that we have around?
The current one
that I know that we have around, it's an ERP, not a hospital, full hospital management. This is not just the hospital's inventory being recorded in the system, but the patient also have it. So it's going to make the patient's interaction in the hospital very easy and smooth.
How long have you guys been working on this?
We started yesterday.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. Okay, then. Good luck. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
What's your group name? Where we are? What are you working on?
Okay, we're working on the doctors and the pharmacists, like the type of medicine they have, like the blood banks they have, like the blood groups. And
You said picture. What is it different from like a hospital management system? I don't understand.
Like what is trying to tell you is the application is having the user registration form, whereby each doctor is having a specific account. Whenever you come in and log into the application, your application will be like when for instance you sign up, it will be like to say you come at this point in time. That is going to be kept there. But also your profile will also be kept. So that for instance, if you have people like patient that need a certain particular doctor that is specialized for instance in cancer, that doctor will now be contacted and he will seek attention to that particular patient. And also the patient can also have a user account in that particular hospital, whereby whenever he or she needs has an appointment in that particular hospital, they just go to the patient. And the application is also not considering people that are educated. It's also considered people that are educated in the aspect of let's say for instance, I'm not educated. I don't know how to use a mobile phone, for example. I don't know how to use an application, a laptop. I have a one assignment that is we have with this GSM. When I do an application, for instance, let's say 180, that particular GSM will now create an account for me in that particular hospital that I go to. And all my information will be saved there. Like for instance, another application is having a particular program whereby, for instance, you have only, for instance, if you have malaria, the center is malaria.
So what solution are you trying to solve?
It's like we are trying to solve this.
Solve what are you trying to solve?
We are trying to, in short, we are not trying to solve that extent. Like, we are trying to solve health issue.
Specifically, what area?
like for instance, like to make users to have access like to the hospitals and doctors to know like the doctors and like hospitals.
Okay. Good luck. Thank you.
What problem are you guys trying to solve?
Our problem is that gives records of patients and then
There is so many of them around, so what is different? Why is yours different from the other ones?
Because it's going to be a multi-tenant application, and my multi-tenant application. Okay, so it's like the patient's record is not in the database, and everything is encrypted, patient database. And then the hospital all have their own databases, but they'll be able to go link the patient's details from the database. So, like going to Central Hospital, we say after all of them will still access your data. Then you're just going to give them a
So the idea is it's like centralized somewhere in them.
yeah. So at like central responsibility, all of them will be because like we know that we don't have reliable.
So what are you doing to solve the transaction problems with that particular service?
So
bombarded with transactions every day.
So what we can do, we can have a card service. So this card service, they will like mirror that they will update to the main server, and it will be synchronized. So let's say alphabet, they can have like a local server at their place. So they will need an internet queries to go to the mobile. Like periodically, the server will get its to the main server, and the record will be synchronized.
Good luck. Yes, how are you, Mr.
Fine.
What is the name of your group?
Teen Innovators.
Okay, so what problem are you trying to solve?
We're trying to solve hazard. We talk about giving patients information so that they can access it anywhere primary.
So basically your system is a centralized system whereby you have these models that send their data to your system and
Kind of not, it's not like it's centralized. For example, let's say we're working with Ministry of Health. If Ministry of Health is the one going to oversee this, we have a public so just to explain better, if any patient comes to these health centers, they can actually be registered and then the problem that
in the health center until you're in the Ministry of Health system.
that's why I say provided they have the access to the environment. Because we have seen in the Gambia, people are registered, but when you don't know, and they go back, they have to like information again.
Yeah, that's true. Basically, it's like a hospital management system. So, what is the difference between patient assistance and other systems that we have like around in the country?
Is there any system in the country that has like that? Like,
Yes.
No, I mean covering a broader information than our information than our country does. Not actually working in the same way, but having to cover so many information.
Yeah, there are systems like, but what's different about our system? It's broader, it's more broad. Most of those systems that are present, it's only local based, but this system is integrated.
That's going to be
security will be very deep. All of the hospitals are using our no problem. Like you, I will be like providing them and I will be providing them they will use our app in their so that's we only have
what are you guys doing?
So we're working on a deep learning software tool. Yes, that will be used by radiologists to be able to predict the probable disease that a patient is suffering from. So yes, so it does this by using CT scans, just X-ray CT scans, and we're basically using a convolutional neural network. Yes, we use a deep neural network. And basically, we developed a model from about 12,000 data set with just X-ray images from national
So I imagine you guys have been working on this for a while.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, but we thought of this idea just as last days, right? But we have been working on machine learning for quite a while now.
Okay, so that's actually a very good solution. So where exactly you should implement this technology? Yeah, people and from this idea about 4 million people who have access to sufficient radiology services, and the Gambia is not an exception. So, and now AI can contribute with that as my faculty colleague, which are elaborated. That's why we came up with this idea. People know AI model that is able to predict based on scan images of the chest and based on the algorithm.
Yes, so basically
do predictive analysis and it will give probability values. That's really interesting. Yes, it's just about it is making predictions about it. But I mean, will we have final probability radiologists to check the yes?
Of course, yeah, they will have to verify 5 levels. Yeah, they will have to verify. But the whole point of this AI software tool is to enable the radiologist to be more proactive. Real time, they're able to see results.
That's exactly. It takes the radiologist to analyze an image for 4 hours. like I've seen a few of those around, so that's a difference. Why you can't implement the same thing that you already have? So,
we didn't know that others are doing it, but we feel that this system is necessary. We need this system. Because basically most of the I can see all of us usually visit hospitals and we see how they operate and we how they keep data.
Yes. So it's true that is a big problem. So what exactly are you trying to solve today?
Yeah, and so we are able to data. You understand? We want to when a patient visit the hospital, we don't want, we really need this system whereby anytime someone with access to the system, creating the system of the database can just kind of give you record or your health information. Yeah, probably the day we are born.
Thank you. What's the name of your group? Is this what are you guys working on?
So, one of the answers was, so the hospital web patients are doctors. And recently we have been to arbitrage, and hospitals are feeling quite large. And there's something they have an issue with the hospital doctor, and then just start moving all around for him. So, which is not really. Sometimes the patient is in need, and then you have to go something for the medical communication. So, for what we're coming up with is we actually build a system where we will track doctors and patients inside the hospital in real time. And then we also add another factor that we give them for is that like the person who's actually the admin, who's actually foreseeing the data, will be able to send message to the doctor. Let's say for instance you're looking for a doctor and his file, you can check and you can know which building he is. And from there you can actually send a message on an app.
So what device are you going to use to track the doctors? Is it their personal phones or
for now they're going to be using for the patients we're going to be using, we use Bluetooth, we use other apps. But we only have phones for now, so we're going to be using Bluetooth for the phones. So the way it's going to work is we're going to have a scanner. That's a scanner. It's a device we're going to be using like a Raspberry Pi. But for now we're using a machine. We have it. So when the scanner is in, every few seconds it scans the whole all the protocol that it has. All the protocol that it has. So the doctors are going to register. Okay? The doctors will register and then they're going to know which one. Each protocol has a packet register. So that will be the unique identifier for the individual. So now, the Bluetooth tag that the patient will have has an identifier packet register. So
that's not like you have a tag, basically.
Yes. So you just have to put it in your pocket, you just have to put it in the keys, but for the doctor, everybody has this one. So if you track it, if you scan it with your phone, go to the doctor, this doctor is actually this one. And then you can send a message from the web to the doctor's phone. And then to see that, okay, this is
that's an interesting. Yes. Good luck.
Thanks.
Hello everybody. How you all feeling already? You're great? I can see some of you are nervous and I think I understand that. But we can fake a smile a little because I see most of you smiling. But I know that is what it takes and I want to believe you've all put in so much work yesterday and today into your various ideas and all the solutions you are ready to present to us today. And so we are very, very excited. And like yesterday, we wouldn't be having a lot of speeches just yet. We gave you a lot of introductions yesterday and then we gave you the genesis of this program. What I'm going to do today is just to reiterate a little bit the background on which this particular initiative, which is the HackWeekEnd, was created on. And basically, you all know it is to bring the ideas together to solve societal problems. And in this, we expect it to be, these ideas to be driven by technology. And that is exactly why you are all here today. So what we expect to see from you people is the solutions you've come up with around health. How do we solve the problems we encounter in our health sectors using the problems you're going to come up with today? And with that, we are going to see whether these problems are attainable, but most importantly, are feasible. And I want to believe in doing so, we have exactly the right people who are going to take us through that. We have our able judges that are with us here today to help us identify the most outstanding solutions in today's event or in the weekend's event. I wouldn't say the best solution because I know most of you have brilliant ideas and you all have your great ideas. So we're just going to award the most outstanding groups in today's event. Notwithstanding, I won't take much of your time trying to dilate on that because I believe you all understand why we're here today. So what I'll do now is just to go straight to introducing to you who are able judges for this event. And I'll start with my immediate left here, and I have Dr. Marina. Thank you very much, Doctor, for honoring our invitation. A round of applause for Dr. Marina. And right after Doctor, I have Amir El Hashamite. Have I said that correctly? Hashamite. Okay. We have Mr. Amir El Hashamite also joining the judges. A round of applause for him. We also have Mr. Lamarana Jallo, who's also part of the judges. A round of applause for him as well. And we also have Riyad Alwine. Riyad Alwine. So you're also welcome to the event, and thank you for being here. And finally, we have someone who's with us throughout this event here, and he's actually from the Asabina, who are partners all the way from Germany, and he's no other than Elward Weinstein. You're also welcome to the event. And in our midst today, we also have important people. We have Mr. Khalifa Fall, who is with us also to grace this event, and we also have our partners from the Ministry of Health. He was here with us yesterday, the Director of Planning. Again, he's here with us. Thank you so much for honoring this invitation and being with us throughout. So what I'll do now is, since we know who our judges are, we are all ready to go into this program proper. And just to remind you that last year we had 4 groups that participated in this competition, and this year we've doubled that and also added another 1 group on top of that. So this time around we have 9 groups that are participating in this event. I think you ought to give the organizers a round of applause to make sure that last year was a huge success, making a lot of people build interest in participating in this year's event as well. And next year we hope that we'll double the number 9, making it 18 again. I hope that will happen, and we are hopeful. So what I'll do now is to invite our pitchers to come forward and pitch their ideas. Just to remind you that we have 5 minutes for each group, 2 minutes for the judges to intervene and ask their questions or make possible comments, and then like that until the end of the pitching competition. So, are you all ready? Yes. Are you all ready to start this? Okay, so that being said, I have the honor of inviting our first group that will be pitching today. I just see one of our partners walking all the way from YEP, just to also extend our gratitude to our partners once again for partnering with us on this particular event. Thank you so much, and Babka, you're welcome. So our first group today to pitch is Faji. Have I said that correctly? Huh? All right, Faji, and in this group we have Pamodu Cham and Ibrahim Adabo. A round of applause for Faji.
And then the solution is this: we will be controlling the central server, or the enabled body like the Ministry of Health, for example. And then these will be different hospitals like pharmacies, healthcare services, and then a smartphone user. So all these devices will be connected to the central server, and then they need not connect to each other, because when they are connected to our server, one hospital can send a medical record to the server, and then with the consent of the patient, a pharmacy will also be able to, a pharmacy or any other hospital will be able to connect to our server and get the medical records of that person. And then the features, we'll have a central medical number generation. Our system will be able to generate random numbers for each patient, and then each of those patients will be able to identify, that hospital will identify each patient by a number. And then the API implementation facilitates offline data collection.
and batch updating of data. We talked about one of the limitations is internet coverage. So with the use of this API implementation, data can be collected offline and then gathered together and at one point sent to our central server. Explicit content required to access patient records, so which will be SMS confirmation, in which my colleague will do a demo of, and then platform independent, web or mobile. So our platform will be independent of our platform without any other issues. So I'll let my colleague do the demo.
Just a minute left.
Okay. So this is just an example of the type of you can have different interfaces, but the main thing is that the API is flexible enough to cater for different use cases. So you might have different hospital systems. They might be different, but with the API, it allows a consistent access to the resources. So from a centralized location, you can have like mobile devices. So patients probably can have access to their records through mobile devices, and healthcare providers. So if a patient comes to a healthcare provider, that patient can authorize that healthcare provider to have access to their health records. So, so this demonstration here, so this is, like a system that sort of allows the healthcare provider to log in. So this can be, implemented on the central server, or it can be implemented locally at any hospital. So once they log in, so they have an option here now. So we have a unique ID that we've set up. We call it the medical number. So as my colleague stated earlier, the issue is that on the 18th here in Gambia don't have, like some form of identification. So as a result, it's very difficult to start that process of tracking patients early on from birth. So what we are suggesting is that we have a system which allows any local hospital to be able to generate random numbers. So the generation will be done at a central level. So all they need to do is to provide their basic details, like demographic details, like
all right. So I now have the singular honor to invite the judges to ask their questions and make comments if possible.
About this centralization, have you considered that our hospitals have their existing systems and they might not be willing to let go of those systems?
Yeah, that is that. So with the API, so they can use their existing system and customize it to be able to interact with the control system. So they don't have to do away with their system. They can continue using their system and just add new functionalities to tap into that into the central server. Yeah. So they don't have to adopt a new system, but they can modify their own to work with.
This incurs two things. Either they have to contact the ones who provided them the system in order to integrate with your system. Okay, because now we have another ID, set of ID to identify the patient, or they have to be running two systems at the same time.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, like the ID system. So I mean, they can continue to have their own ID system within their local hospital, but that is only to be used in their own local context. But if they want to access other patient data, like a lab test done somewhere else, they would need the central ID, like the
the history.
Sorry, yeah, that is the patient history. Okay. So they will need that. So that's the main, because the aim is to be able to track patients as they move from one hospital to another. So with that central ID, it would be possible to do that. So they're not going to
the group, 2 judges to ask 1 question each of them, so that we won't have to be spending much time. I know they all have a lot of clarifications to make. So the second team, are we ready? Okay, let me allow the judges to. They are Med Prognosis, and this team consists of Fred Sango Boucher and Usainu Jaite. A round of applause for the second team.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I introduce you to our AI software tool known as Med Prognosis. It's team prognosis, right? And if you want to know about prognosis, you can Google it, right? I'm just kidding, by the way. But what it means is it means to forecast, to be able to predict, right? So basically, the overview, please. So basically, Med Prognosis is an AI tool that seeks to help radiologists in assisting or making diagnosis, right? That's the whole point. And it uses chest X-ray scan to be able to do this, right? So basically, that's what Med Prognosis is all about. What's the problem here? The problem is we've realized that we don't have AI tools in Gambia, right? We don't have any AI tools. And AI as we know it is the now and the future, right? Excuse me. It's what makes technology boom nowadays, right? All right. So we realize few things, guys. We realize that the time it takes for a radiologist to diagnose a patient, right, using chest X-ray scan takes about 4 hours. Come on, guys, you don't want to wait for 4 hours to diagnose a patient that's dying, right? So what our tool does is, it does it in less than 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, yes, that's right. In 5 minutes, we're able to get a result, right? Isn't that awesome? Yeah. It is, yeah. So this is important to understand because there's a lot of mathematics in deep learning, right? So basically, this is the architecture. You take in an image, right? And it goes through what we call a convolutional neural network, right? Which is a deep learning neural network. And basically, there are a few things that happens here. This is the black box, right? It's a black box. But a lot of things happens here, like pattern recognition and things like that. And by the way, we used a data set that's owned by an institution in America. It's about 120,000 chest X-ray scans, right? From 30 unique patients, right? And basically what happens is, these diseases are categorized into 14 different categories or classes, right? You have pneumonia, you have cancer, and so on and so forth, right? So basically what happens here is this. Yeah. So what happens here is this. We have the classifier here that uses probability, right? So we did, as university students, we did linear algebra. And I never understood what was the purpose of linear algebra, right? I did not know until I started learning AI and deep learning. And it's very useful, guys. Probability and statistics, we use it a lot. So probability, the probability here will tell us whether it's a tumor or not a tumor, right? We know what probabilities are, right? All right, great. So you can see from here, we're able to identify different types of chest X-ray scans, right?
You have 2 minutes.
All right. So you have that which is normal. You have the bacterial pneumonia, right, and so on. So, like I said, the data source was from National Institute of Health. Okay, very credible source. And we had about 112,000 images. When we ran it, our machine actually froze because it was doing a lot of computation. So we had to narrow it down to 25 images. So the way neural network works is this. It's like the brain, right? You have neurons and dendrites, and it does a lot of processing. So basically, neural networks are a simulation of how the brain works, right? Okay, the brain learns and is able to predict or make a decision. So that's the same way it was developed. Right, so these are the 15 different classes or categories of diseases, right? All right. And we could add more diseases, right? We could add more diseases, and we're going to use a modular approach in the future, right? We could add a lot of adding or integrations here. So these are the technologies that we use: TensorFlow, Keras, Python programming. So he's going to demo quickly.
So here we have some demo images about X-ray scan, image scan. So we just take these images and the images will be used as input. The images will be used as input for the neural network. It will pass through the convolution.
So here, yes. So here, what's happening is we've selected an image, right, a 3D image, and we're going to classify it and see where it stands. Right. So this is about 99% neurotoxin, right? If we go, so this is the classification. So in real time, the radiologist is able to know that, oh, this patient is actually suffering from that particular disease, right? And it will help them basically in terms of, doing analysis, gaining useful insights. So that's the whole point, right? That is basically the whole point.
Probability and statistics. So what is the probability that the image is wrong, or if it's correct?
What's the probability that the image is?
Like the prognosis, the diagnosis that you are given is actually wrong.
So what happens is, if you pass an image to the neural network, based on the statistics that you get, you can be able to know. Well, sometimes what happens is you can even have a disease that falls within 2 categories, right? So you were saying, what happens if the disease is wrong, right?
Yeah, the probability, like this diagnosis that you're given is actually
yeah.
wrong.
So here's the thing. What the tool does for you is to assist the radiologist. It's not a perfect tool, right? But it's there to help you. So with that, the radiology has an insight as to the path to go, right? It's just it's a guide. It's a probability, yes. Yes, and you will get to realize that the Google AI car, right? And Google Lens, these are all tools that are developed and they're working and they're using AI, right? The Google car, the AI car, the self-driving car.
It's a radiologist assistant tool.
Right, so, right, even the human is not perfect, right? Talk less of,
Okay, so, hello. All right, guys, I would just like to crave your indulgence. We are working with time, right? So if we have to make a lot of noise, it eats up a time of other people as well, and that means we have to sit here for a long time. So please, it's a pitch-in. Let's just clap and then let it go, and then keep the noise till later, please. I know we're all excited. Right, so now I invite on the third group, and this group consists of Ibrahim Kamara, Alhamd Diallo, and Mohammed Sawane, and the team name is Werguyaram. A round of applause for them. Timer, ready? All right, here we go.
I greet you. We are medical director. So these are the team members. I Alhamd Diallo and Muhammad Sawane and Ibrahim Kamara. The other person is not around. He is having some personal difficulties. Yes. Your number one stop shop for medical director. Yes, it's a medical web application system that helps doctors and patients connect easily with the help of internet and other source of connection. It's called the Virtual Medical Directory. Guys, isn't it awesome? Like you sitting down at home, you communicating with your doctor, explaining to him that what kind of problems you have. Let's say, for instance, you have fever or malaria sort of. What are the signs and symptoms of malaria? We have headache, fever, and others. You can sit down at your home, call your doctor, tell him that I'm having this and this problem. The doctor, according to your narration, is now going to predict what is paining you, what is affecting you, and he's now going to prescribe a particular medicine for you using this application here. And this application, you can find a nearest hospital. Let's say, for instance, you are living in Basse, and you want to go to RVTA, and you are having just malaria. Isn't it long? Let's just be honest with you. Isn't it long? It's pretty far, right? So now, with this application, you just call your doctor, tell him that this and this is paining me, and he will tell you what you need to buy, and find a doctor in your living. Scroll down. With over 15 hospitals across the country, Werguyaram Medical Directory is a right place to find your closest hospital care center around you. You can search for hospital, don't click. You can also search doctors, like let's say for instance, Dr. Mboj, who is living in Bakau, for instance. You want to communicate with him. Immediately you click on these doctors, you will see his biography, you will see his email, you will see his personal contact number. There you will contact him, tell him that this is and what is paining me. He's not going to tell you this and what, this and what you need to buy and do this. With the help of this application too, let's say for instance you are living in Basia and you want to register an account in RVT, you can use this application and register there, and it's going to save in your in their database, whereby you will have, it's like a student number as we have in the UD, you have your MAT number. You have your MAT number, and that is going to be a permanent ID, and you can just communicate with the doctor and you will have your, let's say for instance, you are also a layman, let's say an illiterate cop, someone who is not well educated, and you want to use this application. Yes, there is an alternative to that. Guess what? We use this GSM operators. We have this hotline that we using, that we planning to use when, for instance, this application is to be promoted. You will have this hotline in your application there. Either this GSM, big GSM like AfriCell or QCell. You call them that, tell them this part, I am an illiterate, I don't understand this. You call them, tell them,
10 seconds left.
You tell them you want to register into RVT, and they will register you automatically. You will have your permanent unique ID, and you can just go there automatically without you wasting your time and communicate with your doctor automatically. That's our address. We also have a registration for that. Go up. Go down. Okay. Register. You can also register if you are an IT oriented. You can click on the register. Register. Click.
It's not extended.
Yeah.
It's not even on. Okay, sure.
Project only. Each time is going. Duplicate. Just duplicate it. You will see the exact version.
That team is team where we are, Ibrahim Kamara, Alhamdulillah Jallo, and Mohammed Sawane. Thank you so much. And now I have the honor of inviting the judges to two of them, one each. Yes.
Yes, I'm kind of interested in how you would prevent, I think it was a question that was asked earlier, multiple registrations. How do you?
It's like
can you tell me something about the verification process? So
yes,
I want to make an account. What do I have to do? I put in my name, I put in my address.
Yeah. You have your email and your username, your email and your personal. Your email, if you use that one once, there's no way you can use that particular email for someone else. That one is already automated for you alone.
Okay, so email verification on lock?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's email verification.
It's email verification.
All right, thank you. Oh, okay.
Just, you mentioned about a layman calling. Most of them probably don't have an email.
Sure.
So how do you talk in that?
Yeah. According to, let's say for instance, I'm a layman, I don't have any experience in computer or mobile application. I will just call this hotline, in this GSM operators. I will call them, tell them that I want to register into the Wellbeing application under this hospital. They will just register automatically, it's free of charge.
Yeah, but you mentioned email. You mentioned
like they can also create an email for you. It's easy. Pretty easy.
Yeah, that's the second
The idea of this application is to build it into a mobile application whereby you can just use your mobile phone and just have an automatic registration. Okay. So we're working towards building that.
Yeah, well, regardless, just like his point was the unique identifier for that patient. Okay? And same thing with the first team. Like, how can you uniquely identify this person who is Muhammad Sham? Is that getting repeated, or the same person getting multiple IDs?
So through their mobile number.
There's also a portion whereby mobile number is also being verified.
Alright. Sorry, just the last thing. When it comes to patient records is like a fingerprint should be. You cannot have the same citizen or same national or same resident in a country with two records.
Sure.
Because if I can have 2, 3 phones. So if I have 2 phones, so I create one so when I'm fooling around and one which is when I am, no, you can't. You get my point? Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Yes. Just one thing before I move on. Whilst we're having these, the team answering to the judges' questions, can we have, because you all know your numbers, try to have their computer set up so that we won't have to delay much time. So this team consists of Omar Jase, Rohi John, Saint Silibe, and Alin Jai, and the team name is DNA.
Assalamu alaikum to you all. Yeah, we are DNA. We chose that name because we were told that the name had have to be associated with something medical, and that's what we could come up with. Right? So first of all, we would like to start by appreciating the organizers for organizing this event. Please. So thank you very much for organizing this, and we hope to have more of these events. Right. So the next part, what are we solving? What we're trying to solve is we're trying to, like the first group, we're trying to make sure we manage medical records of patients. That's what we're trying to solve. We're trying to centralize that data because this data is important to both the medical personnel and to the patients. So what we're trying to achieve is to centralize all of this data. But then how are we solving this data? We are not trying to override the existing system that people have. Certain hospitals are keeping track of this data by using papers, others are using well-built systems, and others are using Excel files and all of that. So we're trying to incorporate all of this into our system. So our system is separate from that. From our research, it came up that hospitals are already keeping track of this data. So what we did is we are allowing them to push this data. It's like having a backup somewhere on the cloud. So you have your system already, but then we are giving you the platform to push that data up so that you can share it with other people. So if you are having, it's an API that we're creating, right? So if you're keeping your data using papers and all of that, at the end of the day, we did a research and a medical personnel told us that for them, when they keep that data, at the end of the day, they have a data clerk who enters it onto an Excel file. But then you can't rely on Excel files for high competition, all of that. So we created an API where they can push that data to the cloud, where it can be shared by all personnel. So if you're using a sophisticated system, this system can be easily integrated with the API where the data can be scheduled to be pushed at certain time intervals so that everyone can have access to it. Right. So what are we using? What tools are we using to achieve this? For the API, it's a modular API. We are trying to solve both the problem of the patient record system and the referral system. So for the patient record system, we're using Node.js the Express.js framework to build that API.
2 minutes, 30 seconds.
To build that API, and as you can see, this is an example of the API functioning. This is a register.
Basically, we have some modules. Let's say we have the patient module, we have the hospitals module, we have the visits module. We also have the referral integrated, meaning we have built 2 web services, and we started this yesterday. You understand? We have 2 web services. We have the referral, we have the patient. So basically, this is the patient. For some reason, this is how you kind of add the patient to the system, or you add a patient record to the system at first when the patient visits the hospital. And basically, everything is working. Validation, authentication, they are all working. You understand? And I can just easily send this this one, and probably this one is not going to work.
That's because of my internet connection. Sorry. I'm hotspotting from this, but then the system is functional, and we will see that later. So we're using Express.js for the patient record system, and we're using Laravel, which is a PHP framework for the referral system. And then we worked on the API system the whole of yesterday, and today, because we had to present something, we tried to come up with also an interface, a user interface that shows some of the data that we have gathered. So once my colleague can
okay.
The interface.
Yeah, okay, basically, let me just connect. This is the backend API, and we are using Postman to test the tool. And just as we said, it's API driven. So you can basically connect this system with any platform and also with any client. And we don't glue. Yeah. We develop this from scratch, and also thinking in scalability and also modularity. It's very important because this is a global system and it's a nationwide system. You understand? We are very sure that this system can go all the way for the next 10 years, in fact, inshallah. We also developed the user interface for this one. We already started consuming
the API ourselves.
Yeah, we already started consuming the user
interface.
interface.
The API is working. So we created a simple user interface. This was started after launch. So basically, the different modules right now, we don't have much data in there because it's a hackathon, we have to show something. So for the hospitals, these are some of the information we are tracking. Mind you, this is a minimum viable product, so it can change based on the, when we have correct data. So the patient records, this is showing you all the patient records. On the interface, we didn't enable edit and view, and then we have the visits and the referrals over there. Thank you very much.
All right.
This country, in terms of the demographics, what is it that you use that would uniquely identify the patient?
Okay, so what we're doing is, because we've worked on sort of something similar before, we're using the national identification, because right now in the Gambia,
basically using different ID types. Yeah, we taking national ID, we taking biometric ID, and also when we install you, we check your ID type. We also taking passport. We don't take any identification system that is kind of national. And for some reason, just an example, same like if they open their API for us, we can communicate with that platform to actually validate if that number the patient given us is actually in the system. You understand? But actually, even if that's not there, already we validating with the ID type and also with the number itself. So meaning, when you register with a particular ID number, just an example, national ID, and you give us this name, the next time you come with the same national ID number and with this name, the system is not going to allow it.
So what I would say to that is, what you tend to forget a lot is, most of the time the people access healthcare is not planned, usually. So when you turn up to the hospital, you don't necessarily have your national ID number with you. How will they find you on the system?
Basically, I think when you have the system, and when you learn the system, if this system is going to be learned, you understand, we may want to sensitize the nation that, for example, from now on, when going to the hospital, we may at least want to go with an identification field.
If you're knocked down by a car, how do you get your ID?
I don't understand.
If you're walking on the road and you get knocked down by a car, how do you get
Okay, so then that is where
I have a point to make. I think the challenge that we have, you guys should look into a biometric registration system. That way, if the data is sent to a central server, then anywhere you go to double register the
that is possible. The only thing that we need is let them open their system first. That's all.
You can do your own biometric registration.
We can do our own biometric registration, but the data is somewhere already. You understand? The data is somewhere already. But if that person not open the system to us, we cannot verify. And we don't need to duplicate this, we don't need to duplicate the whole data. You understand?
Exactly are you doing to handle scalability?
Scalability. That's why we're using microservices, web services. We all know that we are in the era of web services. You understand? The thing is, with web services, like basically components and modules and system features can be how do you call it? They can modularize in form of, let's say, containers or in components. You understand? So with that, it's going to be easy to handle. We don't need those high sophisticated servers to kind of host all of these things.
To help with that, the system is not directly coupled, so there are different modules. So then you have a certain module being built with a certain framework, like the referral system is being built with Laravel. So that means even if the referral system is down, that does not affect the functionality of the patient record system. So that will be achieving modularity. When one is down, the other one is still up. But then because of the frameworks we are using, these are widely used frameworks. I think Node.js.
Assalamu alaikum everyone present. My name is Amatullah Jallo, and this is my co-presenter. We are called Teen Innovators, and then we're here to talk about a particular solution, and that is HackWeakEnd 17. Our contents, we're going to talk about why we chose HackWeakEnd 17. These were given to all of us. And then why...
sorry, one moment. Could you maybe stand there? Thank you.
Can you please go back to the next slide? Okay, this is National Health Record System. That is what NHRS means. Can you go please? And then we will tell you why this system matters. We will tell you how this system is going to work. We will also tell you the benefits it is coming along with. And then we're going to talk, and then the conclusion. And now allow my
According to the HackWeakEnd 7, it is said that it is very hard to track patients when they move from clinic to clinic. For instance, like if I am having a headache right now, I'm supposed to I register myself at like Westfield Clinic. So I have to go back to Westfield. But But they have said the problem they say that you cannot they cannot track your records that is within the country. And duplication and wastage of record, that is whenever you go to a case, they have to re-enter your details again. And wrong prescription of drugs, that is most of the time you go to pharmacies and according to what you say, that's what they give you, which sometimes is not accurate. And what we have said 17 can also gradually eradicate over the counter of drug sales. So I will leave it to that.
Okay, those are some of the reasons why we chose HackWeakEnd 17 and why National Health Record System matters. Almost 2 million people are living in the Gambia who have almost no record of their health pattern. This is actually justifying what we said in the first in the contents, meaning the reason why we're choosing HackWeakEnd 17. There is unreliability of data in the health sector, like they explained. When you go once, they enter your details, they take your details. You go twice, they take your details again. 3 times, they do so. So this platform is also going to help government in allocating resources to the ministry. I will just quote from what the representative said yesterday when he was here. He said that they need approximately $8 billion to actually run the health sector in the Gambia, but unfortunately 12% of this is actually allocated. And for this reason, with this platform, government is actually going to understand how many people are using the health sector on a daily basis, and in that case will be actually will actually know how to allocate resources to this health sector. It is also going to help in detecting infections or common diseases within a particular location. If I am living in Budung and then so many people are complaining of health complications like malaria, this system is going to be able to track like the number of people who are going to actually complain about the same sickness, and this will bring about research concerning that particular sickness. Well, the next thing is it will provide correct data analysis for service improvement. Like I said earlier on, this is going to help the government to actually know how best they can render their services. And then how NHRH is working, then I'll let my colleague to comment.
So this is the interface of the NHRH. So with this interface, the doctor or the physician working in a hospital that is registered with our system can just come and log in with their credentials, which we will provide, which we will provide for them. And when they log in, they will have access to all of the systems, the dashboard, the number of patients that are working with, that he is working with, the patient-to-doctor ratio of the hospitals, and all of these other statistics that may be important. And then the doctor or the physician can use this function to search for a particular patient using the patient's national identification number. Yeah, this is the profile of a patient. Whenever the doctor searches for a patient, this is what he is. This is what he is like. This is what he is showing. For example, this is the number that he searched for. This is the patient. This is the patient's national identification number. So these are some of the details, just some of the details, but we store more details, more of the details. Then we have reasons. Then we have a record for the visit. And the doctor can enter other information like the reason for the visit and record the patient's vitals, the pulse, the temperature, and all those other things, which will be saved to our database. Next. The doctor can also use this system to make prescriptions for the patient. For example, if the patient, if the doctor has already diagnosed the patient and then makes the prescription for him. Yeah.
Okay, like I was explaining, first of all, when you go to a particular hospital, they record your details. You go again, they record again. So this is going to help the doctor to understand that you were here so and so date. So in that case, when they go to patient medical history, they will actually know what problems were you facing, and then I guess this is very important.
Thank you so much. Team innovators, now can we have the next group set up as I call on the judges to do or to present their questions? I know they have a lot of questions already. Who's going first? One each? Yes, Elton.
Yes, I was interested in the implementation, because when it's already running, of course the doctors, they will fill everything in, but I want to know from the case where we are now, how do you, in the program, is there some feature, or have you guys even thought about that? How you get the data with it, which is now actually very dispersed and different, into your framework. So actually, how do you go from the state which we are with all the data, because there you have different things like name and age, but example, maybe now they don't even record the age. Maybe. It's not true, I know, but as example, they don't do that. So
you're asking how are we going to get the patient's data?
No. How are you, have you thought about, because maybe the doctors, the medical professionals, won't be willing to start using a new system as the system, because they have their own system. So how do you get, from a practical standpoint, have you thought about it? Is it an issue that you have?
How are we going to let them actually use
I'm not
our
saying you
platform?
should have the answer to it, but
Whether we thought about it?
yes, have you
we
thought
did.
about it?
Yes, we
And
did.
what do you think about it?
Well, I guess in this era, everybody is looking for what a best platform to use.
Yes.
Because every day technology is evolving, and then I guess our system should do too. So if we have a better system that they're using, I don't think they will hesitate to actually come to us.
And you think that they will actually migrate the existing data, everybody will type it over, put into your framework?
Like they will have to migrate everybody using
No,
every
I think what he's getting to is that this is great for prospective data going forward from where we are now. But how do you get retrospective data, everything that's been collected before? How do you get that into your system? So for example, you start using it today. Nothing before today will be in your system.
Those systems were already using a database. So we can just match those to our database with their database into the central database, and then they can distribute it.
All right, thank you so much.
We are working on tracking people inside the hospital itself. So, what we're trying to do is we're trying to see how we can track people inside a big hospital. But like recently, I was at RBTH, and we always had a problem of looking for doctors and patients or nurses. Sometimes you go out for a nurse, tell you to go to the other building, you go there, you come back, and then maybe let's say for instance the patient is waiting. Okay, and also excuse me, I speak very, very fast. Okay? So what we did was, what we're trying to do is we're trying to see if we can, or we're implementing a solution for us to be able to track people inside the hospital, inside the rooms, inside the wards. And what we're using is Bluetooth. Okay? So the reason why we picked Bluetooth was that we needed something that has a little bit of range and something that is not too wide. Because if you have someone who's upstairs and we can track you when the tracker is downstairs here, it's no use. So instead what we do is we use Bluetooth, and then we're using my machine as a scanner for now. So what happens is this. The scanner scans the room where it is. Okay? Every few seconds it makes a scan, and then when it does, it pushes it to a broker. But what we're using here to transmit messages is an MQTT server. It's an MQTT broker. That's what we're using. The reason we use it was because it has low latency in network. It doesn't take much. It's actually lightweight for the network. So if a hospital has a network or infrastructure already, and I think every place should have a network infrastructure now, then it's easier for us to just send it, and there is not going to be congested network or add any extra overhead to their system. So we're using phones for the doctors, and we're going to be using Bluetooth tags for the patients. So if a patient has a Bluetooth tag on their person, wherever they go, we'll be able to know wherever they are in the hospital at that particular moment in time. Same as for the doctors too. The doctors are using their phones, and for the doctors, we added an extra element. That's why they're using their phones. We actually added an element that you can know where the doctor is, but you can also send a message to the doctor. Because when the doctor registers to the system, the doctors are going to be registered to the system. When they register to the system, they have a topic that they need to subscribe to on our broker server. So whenever we publish a topic to that server, when we publish a message to that topic, it goes to the doctor and they receive it instantly on their phone. So I would like to do a small demo.
So maybe 30 seconds.
Okay, so this is the web app we came up with. So what it does is like, as you can see, it's updating itself. Because of the server, the scanner is actually scanning the room and then getting all the Bluetooth names and then updating it there. And then we have the mobile, which is for the doctors. Let me show you guys something first. If you guys can see this creates a QR code that the doctors can actually scan to register themselves on the app on their phone. Now I can show you an example here. So this is the system itself. This is the app itself. So what it does is that it scans, and when it scans, it looks for a QR code. Just give me a minute.
Okay, it usually takes faster, but we are emulating, so that's why it's a bit slow. And usually it takes less than 3 seconds, if it's an actual physical device.
I know a lot of you are in a haze, you can't wait, but just so you know, it was never a competition, right? This was group walks we had amongst ourselves, amongst our peers, just so we're able to analyze critically and come up with solutions that are affecting our healthcare system. And I did say that none of us is the best here. We're just awarding the most outstanding of you all. So you are all the best in your own ways. So this is not to say that one particular group is the best. All your ideas, like Babka said from here, that you all have brilliant ideas, and whether you win a prize or not, we can harness these ideas into becoming something huge in the country. So you do not have to underestimate your idea or your solution, whether or not you win in this particular competition or not. So that being said, I have the singular honor of announcing the group that came 3rd place, and I'd like to call on a representative from ITAG. Do we have ITAG? ITAG not here? Who can we substitute for that? Yep. Okay, Francis. So before I proceed on to calling, yes, just stand there for me. The team that came 3rd place, I just like to let you know that this is what this team gets. They get an automatic acceptance into YEP Startup Program, a mentorship by a YEP Technology Industry Partner too. They get 3 months membership to the Disruptive Lab, Co-working and Tech Hub for up to 4 members. So this depends on the amount of members you have in each group, and this is a value of $15,000 per member from Point Click Technologies. So we also get 1 year dedicated Windows or Linux Cloud Server. Listen, Linux Cloud Server for development or product use. Also from Point Click Technologies to you, the 3rd place winners. Also a 1 year free SSL certificate from Point Click Technologies. Also 3 months coaching and mentorship by Malik Khan, the CEO of Point Click Technologies. Also $50 device credit per member. Hello? $50 device credit per member from Point Click Technologies, and that is like $200 per team, roughly. So now you all know what the 3rd place gets in this competition. And are you ready for the team that came 3rd? Ready? Yes. So, okay. Kansas is ready for me. Sorry about that. Ladies and gentlemen, 3rd place in the Hack Weekend 2019 is no other group than EMR Squad. Unfortunately, Point Click Technologies was supposed to do the honor of presenting the award for the second place. We don't have them here. Okay, so, all right, we're going to have the Youth Empowerment Project to do us the honor of presenting the prize to the second place winners. And this is what they will get. Are you listening? Yes. MIFID device from Asabina GmbH, automatic acceptance to YEP's startup program, mentorship by a YEP technology industry partner, 3 months membership to the Disruptive Lab, co-working and tech hub for up to 4 members. This is equivalent to $15,000 seed value per member from Point Click. 1 year dedicated Windows or Linux cloud server for development or production use, courtesy Point Click Technologies. 1 year free SSL certificate from Point Click Technologies. 3 months coaching and mentoring by Malik Khan, the CEO of Point Click Technologies. And a $50 device credit per member, which is equivalent of $200 per team from Point Click Technology. And I have Babukar here, all the way from YEP, to do us the honor of presenting this award to second place, HackWeekend 2019, goes to Leukocytes. Drum rolls, please. Let's go. Hello. Are we all excited for this already? But before we even come to the drum rolls, let me just announce to them what the first prize gets. But I have the singular honor of calling on Asabina GmbH, representative from Asabina, to come to us the honor of presenting the award. Asabina, please. Yes. So just stand there while I tell them what the winner gets. So hello, are we all here? All right, so the winners get Garmin Fitness Tracker from Asabina GmbH, 1 year free software license to any JetBrains IDE from JetBrains, automatic acceptance into YEP startup program, mentorship by a YEP technology industry partner, 1 year membership to the Disruptive Lab co-working and tech hub for up to 4 members, $60,000 seed value each member from Point Click Technologies, 1 year dedicated Windows or Linux cloud server for development or production use from Point Click Technologies, 1 year free SSL certificate from Point Click, 3 months coaching and mentorship by Malik Khan, CEO of Point Click, and $50 of credit to Udemy each for additional training from Point Click Technologies, and $300 device credit for this particular team from Point Click Technologies. Isn't that interesting? Thank God I didn't write on this paper. All right. Hello. Drum rolls, please. The winners for the HackWeekend 2019 goes to Met Prognosis. Just 1 minute. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. She wants me to cry. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
First, I'd like to call the team to come on stage here, please. Please, a round of applause. welcome you all again. It's been more than 4 months of planning. It's been tough. I really don't have words to say right now. I know everyone is tired or hungry. I'm very hungry too. But I'd like to thank our judges that took their time off to come and be with us. The participants at the hackathon, at the training, it's been an awesome one. Like everyone has spoken, what we're trying to do today is to actually solve sector issues in the Gambia. It's not a competition. You know, even if your team didn't win, just like the director of planning said, we can still improve the idea and work on it. And also from our partner, YEP, teams get into the YEP Startup Program, which would actually push their products forward. So on behalf of the whole team, I'd like to thank our partners YEP. They've been more than wonderful. They were here last year, they are here this year. If they don't believe in what we're doing, they won't be here again. I'd also like to thank the Python Software Foundation. Those of you that attended the training was vetted by the Python Software Foundation. So you know what you're getting is world class. I'd also like to thank ITAG, IT Association of Gambia, for their support and technical support and everything. I also want to thank PointClick for all the gifts they showered on us, Binibi, Kamsis, and finally, I'd like to thank our partners from Germany. For the past 4 months, they've been working technically with us. It's been a lot. I don't want to get emotional right now, but I just want to thank all our partners, our sponsors, everybody. It's been a great one, and we hope we do this in a bigger and greater way next year. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you all once again, and we hope that these ideas will come into fruition. Thank you. Thank you so much.